Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Forensic scientists have taken strike action, saying their increasing workload demands are impacting Tasmania's justice system. But confirmation of job losses is still weeks away as the state budget deadline draws closer.
Fears of more frontline job cuts bringing these forensic scientists away from the lab.
We can't solve crime if we don't have the time.
The Community and Public Sector Union concerned 4 jobs will be lost through the state government's vacancy control measures.
Which is more than 10% of our group, and that's, I don't know how we're expected to choose or what that's going to look like.
These workers insisting on recruiting for more to help them meet demand for significant workloads.
We know that we have employed many more police officers over the last 5 years, yet we are still relying on this very small specialist team to process all that evidence that's collected.
But concerns extend far beyond the impact of delayed cold cases and police investigations. Instead, what it means for Tasmania's justice system.
We will have a serious case where we could have done more, where we could have got results that would have resolved something or told a better story, and we won't be able to.
The state government maintaining its plan will grow frontline services.
We're working through a process in terms of efficiencies. We need to make sure that our public service is efficient, it's productive, and that it's delivering for the Tasmanian community.
But for these workers and many more, a looming state budget and what it means for their jobs remains a waiting game.
Health workers on strike, we've got science workers on strike, energy workers on strike, we've got a budget that's in crisis.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Hundreds of Tasmanians are still without power tonight as ongoing strike action wreaks havoc on repair works across the state. The outages are biting small businesses hard, many forced to close their doors as TasNetworks and the Electrical Union face off.
For J&L's takeaway, it's been lights out for 24 hours, rolling blackouts forcing the small business to shut up shop and turn customers away.
Just closed because of the power. I reckon we've had about 100 customers already come to the door wanting to come in today, and we've had to turn them away.
Only 7 weeks after they opened their doors, new owners Jamie and Sarah have been on clean-out duty, the outage leaving them with empty shelves and fridges.
Lost a lot of stock, we've lost a lot of business, customers, our staff have lost work.
We're looking at, business-wise, we're looking at losing probably at least around the 10 grand mark in the next 2 days.
Left in the dark as part of a bitter pay dispute, ongoing tensions between the Electrical Union and TasNetworks halting repair efforts right across the state.
We don't want to take industrial action, we want to negotiate. I can't emphasise that enough.
Fed up workers ramping up their fight, demanding equal pay and conditions with workers elsewhere.
But there's no reason for us to be, as a community, for us to be paid less than mainland counterparts. Like, it's just not fair.
They've mismanaged this industrial dispute in the worst manner possible, and now they're trying to use our members as scapegoats.
But TasNetworks is adamant its current offer is fair and reasonable, and the union is asking for too much.
Increasing by 35% is just not affordable, it's not feasible, it would have a huge impact on power prices and our customers.
But it's simply not the case, and the logic says it doesn't make sense.
With pressure mounting on the Energy Minister to step in, Nick Duigan says he's disappointed this action has impacted Tasmanians and small businesses and encourages the parties to work together to find a speedy resolution, hoping it will spark a push to end the dispute for good. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
The Greens are calling for a Health Department review into the handling of reportable deaths at the Launceston General Hospital to be extended to cases before 2020. It comes after allegations a clinical head of the LGH improperly signed off on a number of deaths, resulting in some not being investigated by a coroner.
Current and former staff that they believe the review must be deeper and longer in order to do a proper job of making sure the people who were involved are held to account.
The Department of Health is also working to stand up a review process into matters further back than 2019.
A review completed in June mainly focused on the period between 2020 and 2022. It resulted in 29 deaths being referred for coronial investigation. Well, Labor is calling for Spirit of Tasmania day sailings to double over the coming months to make up for the delays to the arrival of the new vessels. The proposal has the backing of local businesses who are crying out for a tourism boost following a slower winter period.
Some restaurants are down 20%, some down 25%, and I think the little mum and dad restaurants are barely staying awake, alive, making profit.
We need to get as many tourists as we can into the state to make up for the loss of capacity from the Spirits not being online.
The state government says additional sailings have always been a policy, and TT Line runs more services during peak passenger and freight periods. Key workers moving to Tasmania to work in our hospitals have somewhere to find their feet as the state government takes over Hobart's Fountainside Hotel, purchasing the 50-room building from the University of Tasmania.
When we have international, interstate recruits, we offer them short-term accommodation, so when they arrive they can have some time in order to land and find their feet and work out where they would like to place themselves next.
Workers will be able to stay there for up to 12 weeks. Hobart's heritage-listed goods shed could be relocated. New renders show how the historic structure would look on the northern side of where the Macquarie Point Stadium is planned to be built. The group behind the design remain confident moving it will honour its past.
Continuing to activate this space is the best way for us to preserve the history. Relocating it in this way and doing it in a way that's true to the site's original use is another great way for us to preserve it.
We've done a lot of research on the site on what the building would have been used for, how it would have been used. We've worked with heritage consultants.
Nothing is set in stone just yet. The Macquarie Point Development Corporation's plan is in the final stages and will be submitted in coming weeks. Tasmania's best food, produce and landmarks will be given an exposure boost on national television. A historic building in Launceston given a new lease on life, transformed into a production hub for the food and travel series.
Lights, camera, action.
Welcome to another episode of Left Off the Map.
Cooking up more content for a third season of Left Off the Map.
It's about going out, finding those little treasures, those gems about Tasmania that people may not know about, and trying to show that to the rest of Australia and the rest of the world.
The Tasmanian television series showcases tastes and treasures from Australia's island state, from the capital all the way to Flinders Island.
We've been incredibly lucky that people have wanted to be involved and are keen to have us knock on their door and come and visit and try their cheese or dig up their truffles.
Production now in full swing with all the action taking place in Launceston.
The fact that the show is shot here in Invermay in Launceston and goes all over the country, I think is a fantastic effort.
The show's headquarters incorporating a small slice of Launceston's history.
Built in 1938 as the Launceston Bank for Savings, we're in the process of renovating while making this show as well.
The creators hungry to put Tassie on the map with the purpose-built studio set to see 65 episodes recorded.
Everyone knows the scenery is fantastic, everyone knows that the food's fantastic, but really it's the stories, the people that drive those stories, the people that look after those tourism entities.
The third season begins from September 30 on the 7 network. Rebecca Gadineris, 7 Tasmania News.
The first graduating class of the university new allied health degrees have walked the stage in Launceston. Students pursuing their Masters of Physiotherapy and Speech Pathology have been able to study closer to home, meaning they're more likely to remain here.
So these are really important roles for Tasmania, so it was just wonderful to have those graduates crossing the stage today.
More than 2,000 students are set to graduate this winter, with celebrations getting underway today. Family and friends on hand to help recognise the achievements of loved ones.
Really proud. I managed to have 2 kids throughout my degree and I've made it, so we got there.
Ceremonies run until next Wednesday. Children are bringing storytime characters to life with Book Week sweeping the state. The popular event encouraging young learners to embrace the magic of reading.
The novel way to enjoy reading. These students have gone all out for Book Week.
Excellent. There goes Brad.
Fable favourites jumping off the page for the Schoolyard Classic.
I love Book Week because it's like you get to be whatever you want from your favourite book.
From knights in shining armour to a bevy of fairy princesses on parade, and a sweet treat in Willy Wonka.
I like Roald Dahl's books because I have the whole collection.
Around 500 students letting their imaginations run wild at Trevallyn Primary School. Characters jumping off the pages of the classics, as well as more modern literature.
I am Skullduggery Pleasant. I am a dead sorcerer who has been dead for about 300 years now.
Running since 1945, the event helps kids spark an interest in books they might not have picked up otherwise.
I've read a few books because I saw someone dressed as an interesting character from them.
While some costumes require a bit of teamwork.
Me and my friends always like to go dressed together as like a funny character or something.
Yeah, we were Oompa Loompas one year.
This year's theme, the magic of reading, casting a spell on Tasmanian students.
Typicus Totalis.
Harry Potter's always a popular choice at Book Week, and Trevallyn Primary School's no different. There's a clear house favourite though, which is that? Gryffindor! And nobody wants to join Hufflepuff?
No! Maybe.
Teachers even getting in on the act.
Our team leader Jane, she's put a huge amount of effort into today, and she's a massive Harry Potter fan, so there wasn't a lot of choice in what we were dressing up as.
But it's all for a good reason.
We know that reading has such a powerful influence on students' development and their learning, so yeah, it's just great to see kids get engaged with that.
For these little learners, it's a chapter that's far from over. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Australians are less than 2 hours away from learning if they become multi-millionaires. Tonight's $100 million Powerball jackpot, the 6th largest in Australian history. Tasmanian newsagents inundated, with punters taking every chance to get lucky in tonight's pot of gold.
Thousands. The shop's been crowded basically the whole day.
Burnie has been tipped as the lucky lotto hotspot after selling the biggest Division 1 prize last financial year.
We can reveal the JackJumpers' new playing kit tonight, sporting a special nod to their championship win as they count down to the first pre-season clash this weekend and welcome home their Olympians just in time.
Back on the training court with a full complement as fresh faces arrive for the first time and Olympians return to the fold. Will Magnay is still on cloud 9 despite missing a medal with the Boomers, soaking in lessons from the big stage, but also attempting to teach old dog Brian Goorjian some new tricks.
It made me realise how nice it is to be here, and I think how spoilt we are. I'll try and take pieces here and there, but most of the part I was trying to push Jackie's culture into the Boomers as much as I could.
Coming into Paris as the lowest ranked team, an opening game win and competitive showing against Serbia was more than enough for Majuk Dang in South Sudan.
Our goal was just like to play for unity and to show the little kids that they have a chance.
Dang's one of the players expected to step up with the departure of Jack McVeigh to the NBA, but he denies there'll be more pressure on him.
It's going to be hard to replace somebody like Jack. It's definitely not going to be my job to replace him. It's going to take our whole team collectively.
And while Magnay would like to follow his mate to the big league, he wouldn't mind staying put either.
I'm very, very happy and content with where I'm at in my career here. So, worst case scenario, I get to live here and be a part of this with these boys and, have a crack at winning another championship this year.
This is our first look at the Jackies playing kit for NBL 25, emblazoned with a gold logo bestowed upon the reigning champs. It's being revealed ahead of pre-season clashes with the 36ers at Ulverston and Elford on Sunday and Tuesday, where we'll also get our first look at our newest development players.
A lot of these guys are going to play a lot of minutes in these next two games. We're going to be resting players up in the north and not playing all those guys. We're trying to find the next Shawnee Mack, and we feel like we got some really good young players there that have different experiences.
As the race towards TSL finals heats up, there's no better post-season prep for Kingborough than attempting to hand North Launceston their first loss of the season at the Twin Ovals.
We've got our work cut out for us. There's a fair few challenges with it, but you want to be playing the best teams at this time of year.
Glenorchy won't be making a finals appearance, instead looking back 25 years, their 1999 grand final win while playing premiership contenders Clarence.
Speaking to the boys on Tuesday night, they're really keen to put up another really good performance for our past players, and we want to make sure that we finish the year off really well.
Launceston and North Hobart play off for the wooden spoon. A few Tassie Tigers have taken charge for winner Manly in the opening match of the T20 Max up in Queensland. Hayley Silver-Holmes and Nicola Carey taking 2 wickets each, Carey adding a couple of catches to boot. Lise Filani then smashing 41 off 26 balls to guide her team to a 6-wicket victory over the Western Suburbs. Calling Hobart home now, sticking with the Canes, was a no-brainer for South African heavy hitter Lizelle Lee. With 2,000 runs under her WBBL belt, Lee's not shying away from expectations and has no plans on slowing down as she signs on for 2 more years, intending to win their first piece of silverware.
I'm hoping to make more runs this season because I know if I do that, I'll put the team in a better position as well.
The Hurricanes will take on Sydney Thunder in their first clash in just over a month's time. Tassie Yacht Alive is in the box seat to claim Hamilton Island Race Week's Gold Division, leading standings with 2 second places and 3 firsts so far, out of Wild Oats 10, No Limit and Wild Thing 100. It would mean back-to-back wins for the team led by Derwent Sailing Squadrons at Duncan Hine with 2 days to go.
Good evening. Hobart 16 degrees today, Launceston and Burnie 15, Devonport a high of 14, Friendly Beaches, Grove and Bushy Park also 16, which was the warmest, St Helens, Smithton and the Islands 15, Lowhead and Strawn 14 degrees. Most of the cloud today gathered over the west and south with patchy cloud elsewhere. Top rainfall to 4 p.m. was 12 millimetres at Strathgordon. We do have a spiral of cloud over southwest WA, more cloud advances along the north coast of New South Wales, the rest of the nation fairly clear. Tomorrow a cold front brushes by our south coast, a deepening low further to the west with associated fronts pushing over the bight. Winds west-northwesterly at first and as strong as 40 knots over southern waters. They'll ease during the day and be more northerly during the evening, swells to 6 metres in southern waters. So with the wind, a gale warning is on for waters from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point and a strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters along with the southwest lakes. Hobart tomorrow 16 again, a shower or 2, showers easing from Huonville and 16 for Campania with showers easing. Launceston 17 with a shower or 2, rain for Devonport 16 the top and 16 for Georgetown. Burnie expecting 15 with rain increasing, showery in the west, Strawn 14, Wynyard 16 degrees. St Helens tomorrow a high of 17 and partly cloudy, Swansea 18, 17 the top for Port Arthur with showers easing. 95% chance of rain for the Hawks Kangaroos game on Saturday as showers gradually ease elsewhere. Showers on Sunday more frequent over the north and west and the wet weather a bit more widespread on Monday. Showers and 21 in Perth tomorrow, a shower or 2 for Adelaide and developing later in Melbourne. Sunny and 22 degrees in Sydney, partly cloudy in Brisbane, 26 the top and a sunny 35 in Darwin. Cloudy in Hobart currently, it's 10 degrees, 11 in Launceston, Devonport cloudy and 11 degrees. Kim, I've got to congratulate all the kids of Tasmania getting out in Book Week this week, all the colourful costumes they're parading around in. Hopefully it's encouraging them to read a little bit more. Actually, I've picked up a new book to read. It's called Anti-Gravity. I can't put it down.
Oh, that is appalling, Murph. Do better next time. More study needed for you. And that is all the time we have tonight. Home and Away is up next. Good night.